Hey, this is Dan from UserSpice.com, and I wanted to show you a few things about the UserSpice dashboard. It's one of my favorite features in UserSpice 4.4 and later, and there's some different things in here that are really handy. Just being able to know exactly which PHP INI you're calling and all those kind of things. There's these widgets, logins, new users, public versus private pages. They're just kind of sample widgets. You can make your own. And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how to customize this without editing the users folder. You're welcome to do whatever you want. I mean, the software is free, but we constantly produce security patches and better features and all that stuff. And you can take them without issue if you don't modify the users folder and you do best practices. So the first thing we'll do is we'll look at these widgets and we'll say that they're not really all that important. Like if you don't want them here, you can just delete them. And when I delete those two things and I refresh the page, I just have two less widgets on my page. But let's say that I want to make my own widget. Let's say I want to make my own widget. So we're going to copy this one just so we have an even 4 widgets there. And then we'll copy another one, and this will be the 4th widget that we're going to actually modify. So let's call this worst football. Okay, and so I'm going to go in my code editor and I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to see that down here in my user C I have a folder called widgets, and now I have one called worst football, and I have a widget. And so basically this is like an example widget file, and so you can pretty much do whatever you want. There's some PHP up here. We don't need that. Then one of the other things is you could, if you wanted to, make this 12 and make this as wide as the page or whatever. So, but we're just going to leave it the way that it is. And let's see. So we've got card body here. Let's see here. Let's go card body. So let's delete this right there. And then we're not going to do any JavaScript in this one, so we can delete that. So we have the widget at its most basic form. And then so you could do something like most annoying football team, and then you could do image source. Let's see, we're in user, so images /cb.jpg. I think that's it. And then when you come back here to your dashboard, then refresh the page, you have your most annoying football team widget. And so, like, it's that easy to make a widget. You can put whatever you want. So if you have a form you want to put in here, if you have anything that you want to put in this section, you can make it and just have these things come on your page. In fact, like if we come back here and delete this permissions copy one, I'm just going to throw that in the trash, and then I'm going to make this 12, and now I'll save it. You basically can come in here and make all the changes you want to your dashboard and add as many panels as you want in there. The only thing you need to know is that they're going to be loaded in alphabetical order. That's about it. That's enough about widgets, though. In fact, we'll go ahead and we'll delete that widget, and we move it. You can see that if we come back here to the code and to the dashboard, it's just completely gone. We're down to these 2 widgets. So there's some other things you might want to do that will make your life a little bit easier. So let's say that you're not satisfied with just widgets and things in this area. Let's say you want to put some links over here. And so what we're going to do, we're going to come in here to this, and we're going to go to admin menu, and you'll see that there's a link that's kind of commented out right now. So if you add a link here and you just want to go somewhere else, this can be something on your page. This can be something, in fact, I'll do another one. So let's just say that you want to do a link to account.php. So we'll do US URL root, and that's just so that this will work from anywhere, even though we don't really need to. And then we'll do users account.php your account. Okay, so you're going to see that what we did an external link leaving our site and an internal link. And when I save this, it should be saved. We're going to minimize, come back here and refresh. You'll see that there's 2 more, which I didn't add a little icon to this one. but there's you can visit your account. You can come back here. You can visit Google, and those links will just appear down here. So that's nice and simple. We're going to delete those. Now, actually, we'll keep them there for a second. Let's say there's a couple of other things you want to do. Let's say you are in here and you don't like my thing for, let's refresh this page. Let's say you don't like my IP list for some reason. You want to make your own version of this. You think this checkbox is too chunky, and I wouldn't disagree with you on that. Basically what you can do, you can see they have view equals IP here, and if you take, let's see here, let me get back to the code. If you go in here to the views and see admin, I think it's IP. Well, the easier way, so if you want to know for sure, the definitive way to find out what that view is to go to admin.php, and there's this giant switch statement here. And so when you see IP, you can see that we are calling this PHP file. So the admin manage IP, if you were to copy this file over here to user C includes admin, if you copy that in here and there's a text file explaining what happens, then it's going to load your version of the view, or you don't actually have to copy that one, you can make your own. But if you put one over here, it's going to load yours instead of ours, and that's pretty much the way UserSpice works. If you copy a file over here, there is a place you can copy it over here to load yours instead of ours, and then regardless of what happens with our updates, that's going to load. Now let's say that you want to not just make a view. Let's say you wanted to redirect somewhere else. Let's say you have a different page, or if you, I don't know, I have no idea why you'd want to do it, but I thought ahead of you, and while I was coding, I decided to give you a way to accomplish this. So let's go to includes and admin override, and what we're going to do, we're going to comment this statement in, and we're going to say IP. Let's say that you want to if you try to go to the IP thing, redirect them to example.com. So not a very common use case, but we're going to do it anyway. So if you come here and refresh, then you'll see that you're redirected to example.com. And basically what that did was this override in here is looking for the IP at the top of the domain, which I'm not going to call that one obviously, but view equals, it's looking for IP, and when it hits IP, it intercepts that and goes to example.com. And you can see right there, there's some redirection going on just because I was playing with it. So that's one thing you may want to do. Now let's say that you don't want to override one of our existing ones, and you don't want to just put a link on the dashboard, but you want to make your own. Let me comment this out before that causes problems. Let's say that you want to make your own thing that just fits right in here and looks like these other ones and acts like these other ones, and it's just like a little window in here. So what you can do, and this is not very intuitive, but it's really cool. So if you come in here to users, I'm going to minimize some of this stuff. If you come in here to users and you look at the views, you'll see that there's one here called master view template. With a bunch of A's in front of it. That is kind of a default template to make your things look like ours. So we're going to duplicate that, and you don't really need the underscore in front of it. In fact, I'm not going to do it. So I'm going to do Dan's. I'm just going to put Dan. I'll just put Dan. Okay, so let's just say I put Dan. So what happens is I have this template that's already kind of made up, and this is the little breadcrumb thing at the top. You can basically see that everything up here is part of the top. You do want to leave this extra div here. It's here for a reason. But let's just say I'm going to put my name in here, and then you say, well, I want to my special link control panel, and then panel, and then you want to put some links in here. So you could do make an H3 to make it big. href userspice.com, com, and okay, so let's say that I want to do that, and then I come back here and view this. Now, what's going to happen is this thing is called dan.php, and that's really important because in just a moment, when I minimize this and I do view equals dan, then you'll see that I was taken straight to this view that I made. I didn't have to code anything else. Just the very act of putting a view in there means that you can call it with this, with the name of the file in there. So now if you do want to, you could come over here and minimize this and go to the admin menu where we were before. You can come in here to user C and admin menu, and you could say visit, or we'll just put Dan's links, and then you would do admin.php view equals Dan, just like that. And then you come back here and refresh the page. You'll see here when we come back to this thing, you'll see that there's Dan's links here, and when I click that, I'm taken right to there. So there are a lot of things to let you personalize your dashboard. We don't have any kind of themes for it yet, but I feel like that's a decent amount of stuff. You can add your own links, you can modify the main panel, you can you can do all kinds of things in there. If you poke around user C, it's amazing what's in there. And most of the time, these files are documented. Like even if you go in here, I'm just going to poke around for 1 second. So if you look at admin panel custom settings, you can come in here and edit these files to make your own custom settings panel. And I mean, there's just all kinds of things in here. If you have Google Analytics and you want to post your analytics script, if you want to make some overrides to the Bootstrap, if you want to make your own custom functions, there's all kinds of things in here that are enabling you to override things that we're doing. So I hope this video helps. I hope it explained a lot.